G'day and welcome to Small Steps Through Life. Today we're at Willowbank Park, and after the last few days of rain, it is beautiful here. The air is crisp and the sun is out. I like it. The topic I want to share with you guys is a partial extension of AI, friend or foe. And the title I've given it is The Automation Revolution. And just like the Industrial Revolution, I think the automation revolution is going to substantially require a change to our society. And I want you to think about it so you can be ready for it. Think about it and, well, live better through it. So the first thing with the automation revolution is why are we using automation? And I think I'll give a couple of examples and see if you agree with my analysis. Let's look at supermarkets and their use of self-checkouts. Take a self-checkout. It is less personal but faster. It can result in greater theft because there's nobody checking it, and they're looking for ways to improve that, shrinkage or shoplifting. But it does reduce the number of operators. And I think that's a substantial reason as to why they've done it. Because if it was merely faster, they would have kept the number of operators and added self-checkout, but they haven't. So if profit is the king, then we need to keep that in mind for other reasons for automation. Second example is, I believe Walmart in America is looking at the use of robotic forklifts. And the reasoning is so that they can compete with Amazon. Well, compete better. Well, my guess is competition is either on speed, service, or cost. And since they're talking about a robotic forklift, and there's a limit to how fast a person can drive it, I think it's primarily going to be cost and efficiency. Well, efficiency results in cost. So again, it's getting back to the idea of profit margin. If profit drives everything, and currently it does, then we need to look at whether automation is going to result in better profits. And then we can work out whether our jobs are at risk of it. So let's take a couple of examples. Let's look at a paralegal, or at least somebody that gathers information about court cases to see whether there's precedent that may pertain to a court case. Well, that's really well done by an AI. Not for the final conclusion, but for gathering the information. So that's a type of job that could be better outsourced to an automation system, and then with reduced staff, their job will only be to start the query and to vet the answers. A lawyer in front of a courthouse or in front of a judge, well, that's a real-time interaction. You can't speed it up, and you're going to have to be adaptive and know the answers. So at the moment, automation's not going to suit it. Okay, so that's a couple of jobs. What about other jobs? What about policy writing in government? Oh, this is actually looking really suitable for automation from the point of view that you can put them in the query. You can use all the policies from around the world. You can use ideas and get the AI to aggregate ideas from the world, come up with some ideas, Then you can vet them. At the moment, it's still a human job, but the result will be that instead of having 20 policy analysts, you might be down to 1 or 2. This isn't looking too good. What about other HR functions or other policy writing functions? Same problem. A lot of these types of jobs that rely on the analysis and summation of data suit the automation system of AI. This is not looking overly good at this point, because what happens when you start getting, in some roles, 10% of people are the ones that are kept, 90% are put into the workforce. It used to be that when that happened, you would be then looking for a job. But when 90% of people are suddenly looking for jobs, it's a lot of new jobs to create. And this isn't just from one sphere. This will be from a lot of different spheres, just like copywriters have already taken a bit of a hit. I think there's going to be a lot of other spheres that will be impacted. The spheres that at present aren't impacted are more in the space of the human interaction or real-time things. So a counsellor or a therapist is likely to be, for now, much more human interacted and therefore likely to stay leading a person. A dentist, much the same. A doctor, some of their work, the looking up of symptoms and working out what it could be, that can be moved partially onto an AI system. Okay, we've now got a problem where lots of jobs are at risk. What can we do about it? What can you do about it? And what can I do about it? I think this is where we need to start thinking, for society to function, one, we need to work out what's an alternative to our current system. Our current system is profit-driven. But ultimately, if you make everything profit-driven, then we're looking at a substantial amount of the population losing their jobs. And businesses aren't in the business of keeping people employed, they are in the business of profit. They have no vested interest in the short term at keeping people employed. There is, of course, the problem of once too many people are unemployed, who's going to buy their services? Bit of a problem. And that's something that is going to take more than a podcast to solve. Now, I've got some ideas, but since I'm not in a position to implement them, I'll stay up here for now. What we can do, what you can do, and what I can do is look at the work we do, at how we do things, and focus on skills that are harder to automate. So partly that will be looking at when we teach people, teach them not how to recall information, but how to think. Make it so that the skills they have are the hardest ones for an AI to replace. It's going to be needed in schools. Currently, we do a lot of rote learning. We're going to need to change that to conceptual thinking learning. It's going to require a whole lot of new ways of teaching and of testing whether people have got the skills. When you live your life, look at the things that you do that bring satisfaction. Because I suspect if we have to move away from a profit model, we might need to look at a benefit to society model. And that's as much as I'll say. But you and I can choose what model we want to encourage. We can live it in our own lives. I look at the idea of the value that we each provide, which is why I'm here, to encourage you. You could look at doing similar, but in your own sphere. As you do that, be amazed, see how people grow. And on that note, see you later.